Hello guys, in this video I will just quickly glance over how to import a weapon into Nier that is multi-mesh, so it has multiple meshes as you see. We have this main body here and this strange wall thing. Just to quickly say it, I have no idea what the fuck this is. Somebody just asked me to do it once and I just had the model on hand to show it, so I'm using it. So basically the first thing we do is we just place both meshes just the way we did before. Select all the meshes you have and make sure they align the way you want them to align. This is fine, I like this. I just need to rotate them a bit because otherwise in-game that may be scuffed. So we just place them in a way that you like. In our case, I just like this. This is okay. This is good. And what we do now is we make sure that there are no materials on our meshes, no vertex groups, and that the UV maps are called the way they are. That's just important, just to follow the first tutorial on weapons. And then we select our both things and set origin to 3D cursor. And then we can already move the old sword out of the way. We then take note of how many meshes we have, so how many meshes our new weapon has. In my case that's 2, that means we duplicate the original weapon twice. 1 duplication per mesh, so we have 2 now. Now what we do is we take the rotor or like the body, whatever we want. We take one mesh, join it, take the second mesh, join it, select everything here, edit mode, go into the vertex mode and delete the original weapon vertices. Boom, object mode. I'm just doing this very quickly because I already showed how to do this. If you haven't watched the first video on weapon mods, please watch this before. Don't continue right now and just go watch that first. So now we have done that. Now you can see the textures are still a bit messed up. So what we do now is one mesh we can basically just use like this. So I will just take this roller part because that's basically my plate, I guess. I will keep this material on it. But for the other meshes, we basically go in. And every mesh that has a new material that needs a different texture will need a different material. So basically you go into the mesh, into the materials tab, make sure that this one is selected blue, the original one from the weapon, and press this little new material button. That basically copies this material. Then we can rename that. I will just call this into handle. Now you can also see that there's now this, that there's now handle, which is basically exactly the same as the original weapon. But it's a new material, which is the important thing for us. Now we go into our textures tab, fetch new materials, and suddenly, boom, there's a new material here. This is handle, this is engine plate. From here on, it's pretty self-explanatory. Expect, like just one thing is different here. So, you see this thing. These numbers. We didn't look over them in the last video because we didn't need to. I explained what they are in the world video, but you probably have not watched this because that's just something a lot of people didn't watch for some reason. They are more interested in weapons, but that's okay. So you just go here into the identifiers. The original one we will just ignore, but in the new one we have to tell this that there is new identifiers, because if I replace this material here, it will replace it here too, because the identifier is the same. It's basically like a variable. It's basically like x and y in math. If x is 5, that means x is 5 everywhere in that formula. So what we do is we replace the identifier with something in the range of the hex thingies, like here. So basically letters from A to F and numbers from 0 to 9. 8 letters long, which basically results in such a thing. So I will just call them like this: ABAP 1111, BB 1111, and CC 1111, because it's easy. You can now go sync identifiers and materials, and that told Blender that we just updated this. So now if I replace this, it will not replace it down here because it has a new identifier now. So now we can start replacing the materials. So for the engine plate, we can go to our, where is it? Here. So we have the plate, which is, let me just think. The plate was the roller, I think, yeah. Which is, yeah, the roller had no textures. Give me a second. I need to head to a different thing. I have this little black thing. Don't worry about the naming. We select our diffuse map here. I just select a black one because this thing is black in the original and it doesn't come with one, so I will just need to make that myself. We select the texture for our mask map. This is basically just like in the original one. You just select your textures here and we select the normal map for it, which is this. Sync Blender materials, and now we see that this has updated. But that's the cool thing, because we only updated the textures for this material. This one has not updated because we have those separate now. So now we go here, albedo map for the main body, which is this. Then we select our mask map, which is this, and our normal map, which is this. And sync Blender materials, and you see now it has two textures. Basically, there's two meshes here with two different textures. The only thing we now need to do is, you can see here in our scene, there is two meshes now, 0 body 0 and 0 body 001. Go into Object, Nier tools, and recalculate object indices. That basically makes this one body 0 point. That's very important because otherwise it will not export. And what you can do now is you can just select your good old folder and press the export button. That's it. It exported 5 files and it's now usable in-game. That's basically it. I will not show it in-game now because there's no need for it. There is an uploaded version of this on the Nexus if you want to have it. I will have it linked below. Yeah, so that's it. See ya, I guess.